Let's take a look at some of the DIY garden creations I've made for my garden. I love to share with you, and I hope I inspire you to be creative in your garden as well. So this first one is dollar store, well now I guess $1.25 store planters, and all I did was drill holes down the center of them, and then in the ground I put a stake, and then the same as I'll show you over here, these red pieces. This is just metal pieces from a carport building. I put that on the stake, and then I thread the dollar store planters through to make this tower. Now, it's, I don't know, 3-4 years old, so it's weathered. It's not like the green stalks. It doesn't hold its color, and some of the pieces have broken. But once the flowers are going, I don't mind so much, because the flowers make it pretty and it covers up that it's faded. I may paint it next year, and I may replace a few of them. So yeah, I love this one so much. And at the very, very top, it's just an old planter I had because I needed something bigger at the very top to cover up the rest of the metal pole. I go to thrift stores, garage sales, antique sales, all those kinds of things, and I look for pieces I can turn into planters for my yard. So here's one of them. I'll show you several of them. I have 4 of this style. So again, a metal stake in the ground. I used a piece from the carport building, painted it red in this case. These are probably 3 years old. And when I find the piece I want to use, I line it with coco coir and then put whatever flowers in it. And I usually like to have a background. This one I found a set of 3 at a garage sale. These are from Goodwill. Same with this guy, except for it's just a little larger. I usually use zip ties and hanging basket metal hooks to secure them. Super cute. Here's another one. And the last one. I think they add great character. These I found at an antique sale, and they're just chairs. They were ugly and all rusty and gross and didn't have cushions, and I thought, hey, let's put a planter box in the middle of them and make them super cute. The bulbs have already flowered, so they're not as pretty as they will be, but I'll put some new flowers in there and get them going again. The other one is right over here. Again, the spring bulbs have already bloomed, but you get the idea. And then this guy I found at a St. Vincent de Paul, and it was also rusty and gross. So I negotiated this one down to $30. And my roses I propagated, I put in those containers, and they will live on this cute bench. We have a recycling center down the hill, and you can drop off or pick up. And in this case, I picked up these milk crates for $5 each, stacked them into strawberry towers. I just lined them with garden fabric, poked holes so I can put the runners down tiers, and the majority up top, and the strawberries are doing fabulous. Another way to disguise my ugly old fence is to take cattle panel and stake it up. Here's an example of the metal stakes I use. I just have tons of them. So that's a cattle panel, and then these are just doggy playpens that I put up against the ugly old fence, and I will probably grow beans up these mostly and sunflowers. More ways to beautify the ugly old fence. So just a window frame. This one has the glass in it still. And then I had just hooked a planter to it that I line with coco coir. Now we're in my backyard garden. Here's number 2 of the hanging fence ones I created. Number 3. This guy I found at a church garage sale. And the final one of these that I have up this year. This one has the mirror still in it, so it's pretty nice that the flowers reflect off the mirror. It makes it look even prettier. I just try to think outside of the box when I'm at the thrift stores. And here I took a cattle panel and staked one side. The other side I put inside of one of my raised beds and let my kiwi grow over it. I don't know what kind of berry this is. Unfortunately, my dog stole the tag, but I let the berry vines go over the cattle panel too. I like these wheelbarrows, and I'll show you a couple of them that I have. I just painted the ugliness away, in this case blue, and dahlias are just starting to emerge from it. So if you can imagine how beautiful that's going to be once they're all in bloom. So cute. Another wheelbarrow with flowers in it, so I will let those bulbs die off and then plant something else in there. So cute. This one I found at Grocery Outlet. Super cute. Here's another one I found at the thrift store. Lined it with coco coir, add flowers. An ugly old child's chair turned into a beautiful way to display my lemon balm. I like to use metal because they will last longer in the garden. So this one I just flipped upside down, got a charger plate from the $1.25 store, I like to call it now, and just glued that to it to make another pretty way to have a holder for your flowers. And here's another one, same concept. Something that looked like it would be perfect for a stand. Add the charger from the dollar store, some glue, and you've got a cute stand for, in this case, sage. Oh, and the one next door doesn't even have the charger plate on it, and it has parsley in it. Here's a couple here. Same concept with a charger plate. These are dollar store garbage cans. I just inverted the opposite ways and glued. There you can see there's one behind it as well. You can paint them if you choose or not. And then they're cute stands. One doesn't have the charger plate, one does. And then next door, just a stump. Here we have an old pallet. I just cut into some pieces, took some paint from my garage, and painted it up, and then I added extra pieces where the slats were too far apart. And screwed them together. In this case, I just used 5mm plastic for the liner inside and then put holes in it. And it is a cute planter. I have some bird netting on it to keep the white butterfly out. I love it. And I also have another dog playpen up against the greenhouse, so when I grow something tall in here, like last year I had beans all over that, it's perfect. Here we have metal file cabinets. So all I did was take all the insides out of the file cabinet. I had to saw off with an electric saw some of the corners, drilled holes in the bottom, painted them, and then filled them with logs and various debris from the compost bin. And then the top layer is, of course, the good soil, which I need. I did these last year, so I need to refill the soil once these plants are out of here to the top again. But I think they turned out absolutely beautiful. And I let some plants grow through the fence to the chicken yard, so they are super cute when they jump up to get a bite. Last year, my tomatoes and the peppers I grew in here were so tall. I did not know these were going to be so wonderful. If I was to do it over again, I would also paint the inside, but that's okay. They'll last as long as they last because they were free from my upstairs office. And then lastly, I'll show you some of my DIY compost bins. This one is, again, dog playpen that I repurposed, zip tied it together, and I just fill it with all the compost debris, and the chickens jump in there and till it for me and eat whatever they want to eat out of there. And it's going to be so easy to just cut those zip ties and dig out some of the compost when I want some. And then over here is my other compost bins. I have them next to my garbage cans in the ugly section of the yard, and all I did was use pallets. Screwed them together, lined them with chicken wire, and they have been wonderful, and they were super easy to create. I loved that I didn't have to use a saw to cut anything. Thanks for watching. Make it a great day.